3 trails and 2 dead ends. The poor nephew is dead, but Baines has the bishop's murderers. The only one left is the rat killer. Have you questioned him?
No.
May I ask when you're going to do it?
When I have found him.
What? You're not trying to tell me that he's escaped again?
Yes, but this time it's not your fault, nor mine for that matter.
You've been using me, Holmes. I unwittingly aided one of the most dangerous criminals in the kingdom to escape. So please tell me why.
An explanation would be futile. It would only lead to further pointless questions.
But do you have even the slightest notion as to where he might be hiding?
Forget Hans Schielmann for the moment, Watson. Just concentrate on the fact that the bishop is on the chessboard.
In any case, the news has spread like wildfire. Look at the headlines. All the papers are talking about it. And the Globe Explorer, their editors must be jumping for joy.
Let the dogs bark with the pack, Watson.
But how could Farley be so well informed? Look, he also mentions our visit to the opium den, and in great detail. How did he know?
Let me see. Contrary to what you might think, Watson, I do not consider that all of our trails have led to dead ends. We're simply missing a common denominator, something that links them together. And our journalist's mystery informer might just be that missing link.
Should we attempt to uncover his identity?
It is essential that we do so. Let us examine the map. We must talk to Mr. Farley.
The real mystery that I want to know about is, what are those children doing in Sherlock's attic? Oh, there we go. We have quite a few on us right now. Most of these are story related. The Fine Loafer is when we speak to random people in the streets. The Pea Super, okay, we need to use the Sixth Sense 15 times, which during this playthrough, I'm not sure if I have used it consistently, as during the Whitechapel segment, I had to mess around with some save files. So whether I have used this 15 times on this actual main playthrough is probably debatable. But yeah, most of these are story related, so you can pick them up whenever. And here's the best one. Anyway, on with the game. And talking about sleuth hounds,
You have been a great help, dear Toby. I'll ask Mrs. Hudson to send you up some fine giblets.
Here we are at Farley's office. One cannot say that ethics play a very large role in his life. Look at the headlines pinned to the walls, like trophies of bad taste. Perhaps we will finally begin to understand the reasons for his persistence in tarnishing your reputation.
Perhaps. I cannot leave now. This is an electric box. Interesting.
Coffee. It's still hot.
Cigarettes. An ordinary, inexpensive brand.
A press card. Osmond Farley. It's his overcoat.
This door is locked. Is Farley afraid of being interrupted suddenly?
I must go out for a while, Miss Jean. I won't be long. Ask my appointments to wait, and send this message as a matter of urgency.
Mr. Osmond Farley, I presume?
Messrs. Holmes and Watson. What a surprise.
What is there so surprising about being visited by the targets of your slander?
I never slander. I inform.
You will have to accept the consequences of these articles, Mr. Farley.
Those words sound like a threat, Mr. Holmes.
I never threaten. I merely warn.
You don't frighten me, Mr. Holmes. I know all of your little secrets. And soon all of London will find out what really hides behind the facade of the impeccable detective. Thanks to my work, the whole world will discover the true Sherlock Holmes. Gentlemen, I don't wish you a good day.
What a bore! Even to the point of refusing to shake our hands.
Which means that we can avoid having to wash them. Did you notice the crumbs on his jacket? He had just finished eating and his hands will be covered in grease, the same as his mouth.
Slovenly habits. That's quite disgusting, Holmes.
Do not be deceived, Watson. The workmanship in those tailor-made clothes indicate that he is a man who takes pride in his appearance. If Farley has left without brushing off his jacket or washing his hands, then it is because he spotted our approach and wished to avoid us at all costs.
But why?
We will find out by searching his office.
The secretary will stop you. Please reassure me, Holmes, you don't intend upon knocking her out?
Only if we exhaust every other viable alternative. This is an electric box. Interesting.
The secretary is occupied in sending a telegram via their electric telegraph. Farley asked that she should do so before he left.
We must find a way of interrupting the transmission, which will oblige her to go to the telegraph office in Kensington. It will take her some time to get there, and if we add on the time it takes to send the telegram and then return here, we should have ample time to search the office without being disturbed.
I suppose it's unnecessary to point out the illegality of this search?
I'm afraid so. This hanger has a large iron hook.
I was slightly premature here. I wasn't trying to get Holmes executed by shoving this knife into an electrical box.
I can hear an electrical humming. The secretary is using the electricity supplied by this switch. Let us see if I can cause a short circuit.
It seems like Holmes has the power of telekinesis. So all we need to do here is connect these two down to the bottom one. I don't think it has to be a direct sort of connection. As long as they match up to this bit here, we should be okay.
There we are. It is simplicity itself.
Oh, that's just too bad.
Get out quickly, Watson. I'm going to hide here. The way is clear.
Wait, how did she not notice this open electrical box? I mean, it's right there. She would have to pretty much walk around it to get out. Secondly,
Let's go, Watson.
why did she not turn around and make sure this door was locked, as she knows that these two are trying to get in the office? I mean, the key is even in the door on this side.
The key is still in the lock. A page of this notebook has been torn out. We can only see the title in shorthand and today's date. It's a message that the secretary must send urgently. I'm going to recopy it.
You can read shorthand? You never cease to amaze me. Were you a secretary before becoming the great
Perhaps. But no, a man must have his secrets.
We discovered that Holmes can speak Nepalese. The fact that he knows shorthand is pretty insignificant. Well, not was it insignificant, but compared to Nepalese, it's not that much of a shock, really.
A makeup case with a good brush. I can make out the marks, but I need something to bring them to light. The ribbon is missing from this machine. The secretary has just changed the typewriter ribbon. There are smudges of dark blue ink. Here is Farley's secretary's telegram. Nothing special here. This book has fallen down from the shelf.
The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. My word, it's my stories about your investigations.
A real investigative reporter must have read them, my dear Watson.
Wait. It says Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Should this say by Dr. John Watson? Or is Conan Doyle his pen name, so to speak?
My adventures have fallen from this shelf. This paper only just escaped the flames.
But who is this note about? And who wrote it?
I will deal with it later. Someone closed the curtain, as though he wanted to maintain his privacy. This cabinet has a lot of drawers, each marked with a letter. There is surely a great deal of information in them.
But we can't open all of them. We must know what we are looking for.
A bunch of keys, a telephone, a technological marvel. A number was written next to it quite recently. A fine, educated hand.
Holmes, this number seems very familiar.
Yes, but let us dial it to be sure. Miss, get me 1313, please. It is Scotland Yard, of course. I'm beginning to understand.
Lucky you.
This armchair is out of place. This ashtray is worth examining. This ash comes from an ordinary, well-known brand of cigarettes. It is still warm. The cigar end is still hot. This cigar is of a fine quality. It must be very expensive and difficult to obtain.
And it is not even finished. What a waste.
Farley was not alone when we arrived at his secretary's office.
You are thinking of the owner of the cigar.
Yes, the reporter smokes ordinary cigarettes. Can you smell the subtle scent of gingerbread? That is the characteristic odor of a Habano Clarissimo. Our mysterious visitor is a rich man, Watson. This category of Havanas is exorbitant, and I cannot imagine a cigar lover crushing out such a marvelous smoke before finishing it. Since we saw no one leaving the building, that must point to a secret exit somewhere.
How are we going to find it?
By retracing Farley's steps from the moment before we arrived. Look, this room is teeming with clues.
Okay, we're not done with the investigation just yet.
Our man left his sandwich unfinished. Judging from all the notes on the board, our reporter is an assiduous and organized worker. horrible story, and rather a strange one.
Yeah, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce this name.
Here's what is strange: an attack of collective insanity. A photograph of Prince Woodville. Farley is evidently also interested in this affair.
I understand what you want to do. It's an old trick.
I can see what has been written. Please write it down.
Very well, Holmes.
I wonder which drawer the secretary was interested in.
Well, it doesn't take Sherlock Holmes to figure this one out.
The DF drawer, of course, the one in the message that we deciphered from the secretary's desk blotter. Closed. The DF drawer, of course, the one in the message that we deciphered from the secretary's desk blotter. There are a lot of cards. How to find the right one? No, it is unnecessary.
Yeah, there's a lot of files in here, and it would help if there was some sort of highlighting system here.
I can't do that.
And all we can do at this point, apart from one of them, is pull out some miscellaneous
No, it is unnecessary.
partial files. I think it's this one just here.
These blue stains come from an old typewriter ribbon. This card has been removed recently.
Yeah, I think the clue is with the typewriter ribbon that someone's hands will be covered in ink or grease of some sort, at least with the sandwich, but never mind. I think that is the clue.
This card has got grease marks on it. The reporter made them. Apparently he's making inquiries about Prince Woodville, too.
But where do you come into all this? Look, if we pull the curtain a little, we can see out into the street.
Okay, I believe that we have enough right now. So, we start with the filing cabinets. Well, the cabinet is next to the window, so I doubt he will be standing with his back to it. And we already deduced that Farley saw Holmes and wanted to make an escape, as well as his guest. Some of these are quite viable, but the answer here is that the journalist pushed the armchair when he ran. Wait, hold on.
The key is still in the lock.
Oh, okay, it was already there. So yeah, we closed the door and left the key in the lock. Obviously, the key is still there. In my brilliant mind, I was kind of looking for a circle, but obviously doors are rectangular. Okay, yes, some of these are quite strange, but the answer is number 4. The book is definitely from the bookcase. Well, it's quite evident that he wanted to get rid of the paper, and it was screwed up, so it didn't seem like an accident. And yep, he definitely deliberately threw it in there, but he hadn't checked to make sure it burned entirely.
Farley consulted a card while he ate, which was given to him by his secretary just before she changed the ribbon on her typewriter. The reporter's greasy fingerprints are all over the card. When he went to file it away, he glanced automatically out of the window and saw us in the street.
He closed the filing cabinet and rushed to lock his office door. In his haste, he pushed his chair aside, but didn't think to return it to its place.
Precisely. He then hurried to tell his visitor of our arrival and showed him the way out. He then threw a piece of paper into the fireplace.
But we still don't know how the cigar-smoking visitor departed.
The answer lies in the direction the reporter took, Watson. At a certain moment, he would have been in a place where he had no logical reason to be. Look at our deduction board, and then let us go to the place where the reporter should not be. Perfect. Yes, Watson. In his haste, Farley dropped this book, taking it from the shelf.
Let's search this place.
There's a control box built into the filing cabinet. This box must open the secret door.
We don't know the combination, Holmes.
The answer is perhaps within the question, my dear fellow.
Now this one is fairly easy to explain. The grey arrows mean that these are the correct answers. 4 and D, and plus 6, so 4, 10 and 16. And this just goes by the order of the alphabet. So the 4th letter of the alphabet is D, the 10th letter of the alphabet is J, and the 16th is P. That's not too bad.
There we are. It is simplicity itself. Let us go and look at this secret exit, Watson. Chance has smiled upon us, Watson. This hat was almost certainly abandoned by our mysterious visitor. Imagine the scene. In his hurry, the cigar man drops his top hat. The door closes. The hat is caught beneath it. Fearing above all that he should be discovered, he does not attempt to retrieve it, instead preferring to flee.
Who would take such action to avoid meeting us?
I cannot tell as yet, but it is certain that he carries the advantage of knowing us. We must discover his identity in order to redress the balance, and this hat will help us. Let us return to Baker Street.
Let's hope that an examination of this top hat will reveal to us the identity of its owner.
It will, you can be sure of that.
For once, I must insist that you allow me to work alone, Holmes.
As you wish. Take your time. I will examine this hat at my work table. This hat is of an exceptional quality. The man who owned it is wealthy.
So to examine this hat, we need to put it down and pick it up again.
Someone has changed the ribbon for another, more modern one, which shows a certain taste for current fashions. Not a mistress, but someone who pays attention to details. This man is married. His hair is greying, and judging by the odor, he puts camphor on it. He is probably in his early 50s. Slight scratch marks. Slight scratch marks. The man wears glasses, and whenever he puts them on, he grazes the sides of his hat. This would suggest that he is educated and long-sighted rather than short-sighted. Heat marks and a strong smell of tobacco. A cigar smoker, which confirms that this hat belongs to the reporter's visitor. This hat was made to measure by a well-known hatter located near the Old Bailey. I now have an excellent description of the man that I am looking for. The journalist's mysterious visitor is in a profession highly placed on the social scale. He is rich and married. He must have called Scotland Yard in Farley's presence. He frequents the law courts, from which he makes his purchases. This man is a judge. Let us look through my files to see if I can identify this judge. I have a memoir on the most influential judges. I have found my file. I must place it on my work table.
Yes, let's place it down, then pick it straight back up again. You okay there, Toby? So, we need to deduce who it could be. And for some reason, we have a magic magnifying glass. He's not wearing a hat, he's smoking a cigar, wears glasses, and is married. Does he have grey hair? I don't think so. Is his hair grey? It kind of seems like it. Okay, so he has a hat, although technically he's not wearing it. No cigar.
Right. It is him, Judge Beckett.
Have you discovered the top hat's secrets, Holmes?
Watson, this hat belongs to Sir Coutts Beckett, a judge of the court at the Palace of Justice in London.
A judge? Wait, did you say Sir Beckett? That name rings a bell. Yes, that's it. What an extraordinary coincidence. Holmes, I was reading something about him in the Globe Explorer only this morning.
Decidedly, this Beckett seems to have solid ties with the gutter press.
I bought it from a rascal who ran off without giving me my change. I'm sure that I've seen him before, and...
Spare me the details, Watson. Show me the article. So, Lady Beckett is on holiday in Portsmouth. That means her husband is at home alone. Good. We shall pay a courtesy call, Watson. With a little luck, we shall leave with a few habanos clarissimo.
That you should interest a judge of the High Court isn't surprising. You have solved so many criminal affairs that there are 1,000 reasons why a magistrate should be interested in you. But why should this one feel the need to act in shadows?
It's true that it's surprising. Perhaps he simply wishes to avoid being seen in the company of this Farley fellow.
Mr. Kirby, our local postman, owes me a favour. He'll give me Beckett's address. At this hour, he should still be at the post office. I'll go there, Holmes.
Good, Watson, but be quick about it. While you're gone, I'll make preparations for our visit.
Sir Coutts Beckett. I've got the address. We can go round after a nice cup of tea.
Don't get too comfortable, Watson. We're leaving immediately.
He looks slightly disappointed there. And now he's looking a bit angry. How dare we deny him his tea?